Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to our cozy little corner of the internet. I'm Pen and today I'm reading chapter 10 of The Life We Could Have Lived, This Life Was Made For Us by Zenna Lemon. There's of course gay in this chapter, but I think that should be obvious by now if you've been keeping up with any of this series. But anyway, here's chapter 10, completed a puzzle with one missing piece. I hope you guys enjoy and let's get right into the fic. Chapter 10. My ability is called Frankenstein. It allows me to rewrite events based on the target's desires, in this case, yours. Mary gestures to the redhead. It's a bit faulty, as it's unable to just pull things out of nowhere, so it rewrites already happened events and creates a sort of domino effect where every desire is accounted for. What are you, some kind of genie? Dazai commented jokingly. Well, I kind of am, yeah, she explained nervously, pulling out a simple necklace from underneath her shirt. It was just a black string with 3 metal pearls sewn into it, but what made it actually special was that one of the pearls was growing. My ability doesn't allow me to directly ask the target what their 3 wishes are. They're found from the heart, sometimes even a desire the target doesn't know they had. That was quite a useful ability, very powerful. Quite an ability, very powerful, omniscient even. Dazai mused before turning to Chuuya. Have any idea what those 3 wishes are? I already have some ideas based on our current situation. Chuuya had been able to put up with Dazai because he was focusing on Mary. But as his mind started to wander, he started to think of how one of the first things they discovered was their relationship status. And now, knowing that this reality was based on what he wanted, he even thinks he didn't know himself, it made it a lot harder to look Dazai in the eye. Chuuya stayed facing towards Mary, trying not to even glance at Dazai out of embarrassment, and hoping that he wasn't turning bright red at the very moment. So, if you can't manually disable it, how are we going to get back? Although I'm surprised you even want to get back, it's inevitable. The sad part of my ability is that once you witness or experience a wish, one of the 3 pearls will start to glow. And once all 3 pearls are glowing, everything goes back to normal, Mary explained. So all I have to do to figure them out is figure out what these 3 wishes are and acknowledge them. Chuuya sighs, although he's finally happy to have some way out. It meant he'd have to stay longer and thus risk Dazai finding him out. Correct, and it seems like you're already a third there. Mary nodded, holding up the necklace again, reminding them of the already glowing pearl. It started glowing this morning, so whatever happened or saw before school was one of your wishes. Before school? Chuuya repeated, glad to know that the pearl wasn't glowing because he found out what he found out in first period. I mean, I woke up with a family. I think that's a pretty obvious wish. Great, so now we have to just figure out the other 2 wishes and then we can leave, Dazai said rather optimistically, as if it was that easy. I think this whole no abilities being a teenager in high school is a clear sign. Okay, maybe it was that easy. That would probably be one of them, thinking about how everyone grew up. But wouldn't the pearl already be glowing? Chuuya countered. Actually, no. Wishes like that where it's like a lifestyle, or something having to be lived through, is at least a day before the pearl starts glowing, and only if the target accepts it, Mary explains. Accepts it? Why wouldn't the target accept their own weird... Chuuya cuts himself off, realizing he'd been doing just that. The pearl didn't glow when he found out that he was dating Dazai because he hadn't accepted it, and it wasn't glowing, and it's still not glowing because he hasn't. Shit. Well, the target might not be able to realize that something that might not be able to realize something is their own wish. The wishes come from the heart, like I said. Some that the target may not even know they had, Mary suggests, not realizing that she had just exactly described what was happening to Chuuya. Oh shit. Mary's explanation of her ability played in Dazai's mind. He honestly hoped Chuuya's third wish had something to do with the fact that they were dating in this reality. But Dazai was convinced that Chuuya hated him, and the fact that Chuuya was ignoring him reinforces his assumption. He remembers what Mary had said. It creates a sort of domino effect. The events in this universe were tailored to make Chuuya's desires come true. Their relationship was just a side effect. At least the fact that it was possible made Dazai feel a little bit more content with his feelings. The three entered the classroom to collect their stuff as the bell rang. The day was almost finally over. Of course, he still had a class next to Chuuya, and Dazai didn't know how to feel. Ever since he fully came to terms with his feelings for the redhead, he felt quite a mix of emotions. It's hard for him to take his eyes off Chuuya, which only forces him to watch how he ignores him. Dazai didn't know where he went wrong. Chuuya was acting normal this morning, then around fourth period he seemed to tense up around him, and then halfway through lunch he couldn't even look at the brunette. Was it because he didn't stop Chuuya from slowly inching closer to him? Eventually, embarrassing himself in front of Atsushi and Akutagawa? Saying it like that really does make it look bad, but Dazai didn't realize it was that big of a deal. God, he feels horrible. But that's strange. Dazai feels bad most of the time. But this was different. What is it? Guilt. Dazai, for once in his life, is guilty. He looked at the boy beside him. How many times had he blatantly stared at the redhead today? He couldn't help it, but he really couldn't help it. Something about Chuuya is so beautiful that it would be doing him a disservice not to relish in it. Why do you keep looking at me? Chuuya suddenly interrogated the brunette. I'm sorry, Dazai blurted out. What? Chuuya was physically taken aback by the apology. I'm sorry, I didn't realize what happened at lunch would upset you so much. Since when have you cared so much about what upsets me? Since now, I guess? You've been ignoring me ever since lunch, and Never mind. Dazai turned away from the redhead. I'm sorry. It felt weird for Dazai to say it, especially to Chuuya. Not once had he expressed actually caring about the other's emotions, but this feeling, guilt, it felt like it was the right thing to do. Are you actually Dazai? Why are you apologizing? Chuuya accusingly questions the brunette. Dazai turned back to him with a confused expression. I thought you were mad about me from what happened during lunch. What? No, it worked out anyway. I didn't care about it anymore. Then why won't you look at me? Dazai questioned, a lot more enthusiastically than he thought. Chuuya paused for a second, acknowledging the implications of the question, his face turning slightly pink. Why do you care so much about that? Stop changing the subject. You're changing the subject. The redhead, his face reddened. No fighting in my classroom, a familiar voice recommended as they entered the health room. Dazai didn't even realize they were already there. His eyes travelled back to the classroom, not surprised to see what was the source of the voice. Yoshino was wearing a white coat with a black high-neck blouse. Her hair was tied up in a bun with her usual butterfly clip accentuating her hair. Dazai expected nothing less. Chuuya, I have a question. What flower should I get for your mother? I can't decide between irises or cosmos. Or should I just stick to roses? Yoshino suddenly inquired to the redhead. Chuuya was caught off guard by the question, especially since it had been about Koyo. Cosmos sounds fine? Chuuya hesitantly answered. Thanks. Yoshino turned back to her computer. The two boys just stood there for a moment before heading to a table in the back. Shut up, Chuuya mumbled as Dazai chuckled. That's a relationship I wasn't expecting. As much as Chuuya was taken aback of his mother's and teacher's relationship, he was glad for the interruption. Chuuya couldn't stop thinking about how naturally pressed Dazai was in the hall, especially because it had been like he was expressing his concerns about Chuuya not looking at him. Why would he care about something like that? It did make him realize how while trying to keep Dazai from seeing through him, he was pretty much ignoring the brunette. Still, the fact that Dazai cared so much confused Chuuya. In fact, Dazai had been acting strange all day. Something about him was just a lot more. He didn't know how to explain it. Whenever he would look into at the brunette, there was a look in his eyes, one that he'd never seen there before. It seemed to glow throughout the day, dimming and glowing again in different situations. Chuuya couldn't pinpoint what made it change though, but again, he hadn't been very keen on studying the brunette, most of the time just trying to keep Dazai from studying him instead, and yet he had this sudden curiosity. Chuuya eventually let his curiosity get the best of him as he finally glanced over to the brunette, not expecting to find a pair of honey brown eyes staring right back at him. In that instant, Chuuya was frozen in time. The sounds of the other students' conversations rolled into a muffle as all Chuuya could hear was his heartbeat. It felt like he was underwater and the only thing he could focus on was Dazai. It wasn't the first time that had happened today, but that didn't make it any easier to not get lost in every detail. From the way the light from the window cast itself on Dazai, forming an almost halo effect around him, he looked angelic, again, ironic considering his reputation. Chuuya couldn't help but admit that Dazai was quite pretty, but another light caught Chuuya's eye. That look. There was that look again, in Dazai's eyes glowing brighter than ever. Chuuya's eyes widened as he seemed to catch every sign on Dazai's face. The content smile, the slight red glow of his cheeks, and the starstruck look in his eyes. Chuuya had been ignoring it all day, so he never really took the time to analyze his weird behavior. But he's finally pieced the puzzle together himself. Oh my god, does Dazai actually like me? Okay, sorry for all the stuttering. I'm going to leave that in because why not? Sorry for all the stuttering today. The first video didn't turn out like that, so I don't know why this video is. But I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. We've only got 2 more chapters to go. Hang on, I think it's 2 more chapters? 3 more chapters, sorry. 3 more chapters to go. I hope you guys like it, and I hope you're enjoying this fic. Make sure to leave kudos because the link is in the description. And I'll see you all next time. Have a great day. Bye bye.